All right, guys, we're about to go live here. I'm sorry about that. We had some. See when we go live on Wall Street sizing up. We are live, guys. Hey, sorry about that. This is Wall Street sizing up. I'm your moderator, your mod, Mark Maddox. It is February 16th, year of our Lord 2021. My equipment, my stream deck went down for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it is. If you did not hear, it is 7 degrees here in Dallas. We're having all kinds of problems in Texas, and we'll talk about that. But again, here we go with stock market news today, the bits and bytes that the traders and the misfits need to know that you probably will not see on CNBC, but we will find out. So first and foremost, we want to go to what kind of day is it when you don't talk about Bitcoin first, right? So Bitcoin did hit 50K. It hit that all-time high. It reached it this morning, Monday morning, early in the morning. And it's holding say about 49.5 right now. So if we go check the markets, the Dow was up 64, the NASDAQ was down 47, and the S&P was only down 2. Big winners day were PXS, Pixie Tankers, LKCO, and SOS, which is SOS Limited Software. Let's get right to the news now. Churchill Capital soared after Reuters says the deal with Lucid Motors is now on and is likely to close. All right, here's where I've got some more screens for you, but here is what you really need to know as far as Wall Street goes. So the biggest analyst upgrades today was Anaplan. PLAN is the ticker. It's upgraded to overweight from equal weight at Morgan Stanley. They say that his checks suggest that after challenging 2020, the company could be set up for a return to 30% plus growth. BlackLine was next. That's BL. Upgraded to neutral from sell at Goldman Sachs. And then here's the one, I talked about this on my TikTok. Literally, I'm not kidding you, on Saturday. Albemarle. ALB. I think I'm saying that right. ALB. Upgraded to buy from a hold at Deutsche Bank. It was upgraded on Friday at Citibank, right? And so here's what Deutsche has to say. With the 2 new world-scale lithium projects starting up in 2021, and the largest, most diverse lithium resource base in the world that provides more shots on goal than any other lithium mining company, Albemarle is well positioned to capitalize on 27% compounded annual growth in the lithium demand through 2025. I agree. And I put that up on my, again, the TikTok. I know a lot of you guys aren't on TikTok, but if you are, we're at stocktrade.tips. Mattel, MAT, upgraded from a hold at August. It is an IP-driven toy company now. And Eaton, ETON, upgraded from a buy from a hold at HSBC. Downgrades today, we'll go real quick. Waste Management, WM was downgraded to a neutral from Outperform at Baird. American Express, big one there, downgraded to a neutral from Outperform at Baird. They basically said about American Express, I don't have the notes here, but just in reading the tea leaves, if you would, they said at American Express, no real new products. So Noble Midstream, NBLX, downgraded to overweight from neutral at JP Morgan. It's an energy company. Here's one that I'll read you on this one. BlackBerry, BB. Remember all the text or all the meme stocks? Well, BB was one of those. Downgraded to a sell from a hold at Canaccord, with their analysts believing with the volatility in the shares from a targeted short squeeze, the share price is above the increased price target and likely to fall further. Kind of agree with that. Sorry about that, guys, but it's probably true. Children's Place, PLCE, downgraded to neutral from a buy at Monmouth Crespi. All right. So let's talk about the bigger news stories. Big data company Palantir stock dropped 10% today despite reporting 40% increase in last year's revenue. 40% increase in last year's revenue, and it did drop. I don't have it on the screen, but it did drop. The company generated a revenue. If you've never seen their homepage, this is them right there. Palantir. So Last year, their revenue was they generated over 1.1 billion in 2020. That was up from 2019. They said that they have already signed for 2021 21 contracts of $5 million or more each, including customers such as the U.S. Army, the FDA. It's added that 56% of its revenue in Q3 came from government contracts. I do want to say this. So on the call, I didn't see the call. I saw the transcript very quickly. I went through it. Here's the thing. The CEO basically said that, look, if you're a short-term investor, don't buy our stock. We are long-term, period. Which is what Elon said in the past as well. So let's talk about Texas and what's going on here in Texas, because we are having all kinds of problems with our power grid. Now, 23% of our power grid is wind turbines, and that's kind of the problem, right? Because clearly this was not anticipated, but the wind turbines iced up, right? And we have like 10,000, almost 11,000 wind turbines here, and they had to de-ice them. Literally half of them are offline. So here's the thing. About half of the wind turbines in Texas were inoperable on Sunday and today. We've figured out they don't function well in moist winter conditions and freezing rain. You're probably thinking, Texas, it's a powerhouse for fossil fuels, not renewable energy. That's incorrect. Texas is second. In fact, the wind power is actually the fastest growing source of energy in the state's power grid. It recently overtook coal as the state's number 2 energy source. So literally it's the number 2 energy source behind natural gas. Now, we'll get on to what Bill Gates says about this. And as of last week, the wind turbines supplied 42% of the power. So, I don't want to go into politics with this, but I will say this, that here's the issue, right? Now, to be fair, there are some oil rigs out there that probably stop pumping too, right? But that's just crude, right? And so it looks like nuclear is the way to go. I think Gates agrees with that. We will talk about that in just a second. The European Consumer Organization, BEUC, has filed a complaint against TikTok. TikTok's copyright laws are unfair as they hold the right to use creators' videos without remuneration. TikTok users can buy gifts for the platform's celebrities using virtual coins they purchase on the platform. The lawsuit alleges that the company has the absolute right to modify the exchange rates between the coins and the gifts, meaning they can arbitrage those. The company fails to inform its users, particularly teenagers, regarding the extent and the purpose of the data collected. The filing added that TikTok fails to protect children from inappropriate content on the platform too, and that's always been a problem. The South Korean e-commerce giant Coupang has filed for U.S. IPO. If you didn't know that, it's going to be the largest since Alibaba's in 2014. It could value the company probably about $50 billion. I bet it goes. I know it's got investment bankers behind it, so I'm betting it does a 2x. So I'd say closer to 80 to 90 million. Coupang, like Amazon, invested heavily in 24-hour delivery. It's called Rocket Delivery Service there. They also have something called Coupang Eats, I believe is what it's called, but it's a food delivery service as well. Okay. All right, so Bill Gates' new books, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, the Solutions We Have and the Breakthrough We Need, that's what it's called. It goes on sale today. It lays out a plan for eliminating the 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases the world adds to the atmosphere each year. Look, I don't know of another man who's done more for the world. He's a vicious businessman, but I don't know anybody else who's done more for the world as far as health goes than Bill Gates. Was not a big fan when I was younger of Bill Gates, just because of the literally the monopoly that they had at Microsoft on virtually everything, operating system, browser, what have you. Going from 51 billion tons to zero in less than 30 years sounds like an Avengers-like task. It is. Bill Gates explains, number one, what the world needs to do now, more nuclear energy. And two, the technology we develop or the technology we need to develop cleaner industrial products like steel in order to avoid the worst impacts of climate change that are yet to come. And I've seen, the past 5 years or past 20 years, at least in my lifetime, it seems to have gotten worse. So I have no reason not to believe the man. And if he says go nuclear after seeing what I've seen with the wind turbines, also we have a lot of solar panels in Texas too, because we do get a lot of sun here. With snow and ice, they don't work there. They just don't work with snow on top. Go figure, right? The U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has launched an in-depth probe into NVIDIA's proposed $40 billion deal to buy the semiconductor company ARM. ARM is backed by SoftBank, so this is going to be huge for them. The news comes after, and this is what's, I wouldn't say strange, but I just think it's a little bit, I don't know, what would you call it? Ironic. The news comes after large companies, including Alphabet's Google, Microsoft, and Qualcomm, reportedly voiced concerns over NVIDIA's potentially limiting access to key chip technologies. So it's cool for, Google and Microsoft to have, monopolies. But NVIDIA, boy, if they get close, no, we can't have that. That wouldn't be fair. Now, would it? Especially Google. Whatever happened to don't be evil. North Korean hackers reportedly tried to exploit Pfizer's computer systems to find information about a possible COVID-19 vaccine. Think they're probing for the vaccine? You think they're probing for something else? I think they're probing for the vaccine because they have real issues there, just like the entire world. Elon Musk's SpaceX launched another 60 Starlink internet satellites today, bringing the total successful satellite launch to 1,145. Congratulations, Elon. Doge is still down. I know that he's calling for the top 28 wallets, I believe, to he would pay them to get out of Doge. We'll see. Finally, a vegan Kit Kat bar. It's coming later this year. A vegan Kit Kat bar later this year to several countries, not the U.S. though just yet, says Nestle. And with that said, that is it, guys. We are done. That is your stock market news today for February 16th. We appreciate you being here. As always, watch your six, go hard in the paint. We'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.